Hi, book besties. How are you all doing today? You are going to be able to see me there on my glass reflection. Hi, I'm filming from my phone. I am now going to do my first monthly wrap up. I thought, what better time than January to start doing this? Hopefully, I stick to them this time around. And actually, I think this is the first one that I do. I don't remember, but it might be. Uh, this is the perfect month for this too. I read more than I have ever read in one single month. I read 21 books, but you're going to see it's because I did a lot of short books and I also did some on audio, and I do a lot of tandem reading, half audio, half physical. So yeah, normally on average physical books with my eyeballs, I read about 5 to 6 per month, okay? So I do get a lot of questions. How do you read so much? I simply read all the time. I am always reading. Like I said, if I don't have the audio going, I am sitting down with my book. I read before bed. I read before work. I read during lunch. I'm always reading. It's my favorite hobby, my favorite thing to do. I have a lot of free time. I don't have kids. It's just me, my husband, and my baby puppy, Frida. So yes, that's the way I do it. But again, most months is not 21 books, is generally around 6 to 8, maybe 10. So let's get into the fun stuff. I will go over each one of the books that I read and hopefully talk really quick about what I thought about it. And yes, so let's start with this chunk book. This is King Sorrow by Joe Hill. This is a book that I actually did on audio because I knew if I did it physically, I was not going to finish it. It's just too thick. But this is, I would say, a horror, literary, thriller, fantasy book that follows a group of friends that basically make a deal with this devil dragon and the consequences of the deal. It is very good. It is action packed. It is full of very descriptive, very insightful, like you get attached to the characters. The characters are well developed. This would make an amazing TV show. I would watch it. But yeah, I recommend it. This is not something that I thought that I would enjoy, but I actually did. So I highly recommend this one. The next book that I finished was Slewfoot. I'm going to put that somewhere around here. That one I had been reading for weeks and I had it on my Kindle, forgot that I had it. Then I saw it. I was like, let me finish it. I did. And I ended up really liking it. This is another horror book. This is a literary historical fiction horror book, I would say, in which we follow a young woman during the, what do you call it? The Salem, the 1600s in New England, I believe, and she's believed to be a witch, and it's a good for her type story. You do get to care and, you know, get invested and care for our main character. And yeah, very good book. I also highly recommend it. I'm sorry if I don't have that many details. I have read these. It's been weeks, but I wanted to kind of tell you if I recommend it or not. I do recommend Slewfoot if you like, what do you call it? Puritan horror. I'm not sure if that's even a thing, but yeah. So yeah, La Vona is the next book that I finished. This is a medieval horror. This is literary horror, and this is one that it's very plotless if you think about it, but the very gruesome and humor, what do you call it? Humoristic? Is that a word? I'm sorry. Very dark humor that it has in the descriptions of the situation, the characters is very good. I really like this book. It is gruesome. Do look up the trigger warnings, but I highly recommend it if you're looking for a medieval horror, and I loved her writing, so I'm very excited to get to more books by Ottessa Moshfegh. So I do highly recommend La Vona. Then I finished The Bright Years, which was a book club book that I wrote with my friends, and that one unfortunately didn't work too much for me. It wasn't bad, it's just that it was very sad, and I guess I'm not into sad books. The writing also has some issues for me. I will put a picture of that one up here, but it is a book that they both loved, so I'm not gonna say I don't recommend it. It's just that it was not for me. Then we have American Rapture. This is another horror book. I'm into horror. This is a horror book. The cover is stunning. This is by CJ Lee, the same author as Mayfly. This is a book that, just as Mayfly, I didn't like at all. In this one, we follow a young girl that is in this apocalyptic. She's just running away from this virus, and this virus turns people into horny zombies, basically. And it was just not for me. I didn't like it. This one I don't recommend. Actually, I don't think it's a good book at all. But again, it's one of those running away, road trip type, survival, zombie apocalypse type horror. So if you're into that, I maybe would check it out to see, give it a chance, but I didn't like it and I don't recommend it. Then I did finish Strange Pictures. That one I gave to my husband. He wants to read it, so I'll put a picture here. That one I really did like. I had fun. It's just a fun, quick little book that has pictures in it that you kind of are solving the mystery together with the main character, and the pictures tie together to solve the mystery. It's very unique, it's very fun, and it's a quick little read, so I do recommend it. Then we have Siddhartha. This is a very thin philosophical classic. I heard Isabel Allende say that that was one of her favorite books, and so I added it to my classics bucket list, wish list, and I read it, and I highly recommend it. It's very thin, but you're following this guy on a quest for enlightenment, and it's just very good, and it is different. It's a classic, but in a very different way. You're following him as he goes on this quest, in this personal quest of his, and the people he encounters along the way and how they changed him. And I tabbed a couple of passages. Very good book, very thin. If you're looking to read a short classic, I do recommend you check it out. Then we have Ace of Spades. This is a book that had been on my TBR forever. I am not into YA that much anymore, but this one I had it on my shelf for so long that I kind of wanted to give it a chance, and it didn't work for me. This is a YA thriller about, they say it's like a mix between Gossip Girl and Get Out. I think it does have some elements of both, but not enough to be compared. This is good in its own way. The themes that it explores are very important, so I do give it points for that, but the execution was just not for me. I was kind of bored with this one. It's very thick too, so again, I don't know, I don't recommend it. I didn't enjoy it, but you might. So that's Ace of Spades. Then we have Death Valley. This was my first 5 stars of the month. This is a beautiful, sad, funny, dark, weird girl book. I loved it, and I highly recommend it if you're looking for those types of books. And I do want to read more by her too. This was also my first, and I'm obsessed. This follows a woman on she's dealing with anticipatory grief because her father is basically on his deathbed bed pretty much, and also her husband is suffering from chronic illness. And so she's a writer, she's kind of escaping to this hotel in the desert, and then it turns into a survival story too, but a lot of weird things happen, and it's very surreal, it's very cool, and I highly recommend it. Then we have another one that I really love. This is Magma. This looks like a regular book, but it's very short. Let me show you. The way it's written is just, you can finish this in like less than 2 hours. This is a story that follows a young woman that falls in love with a no guy, like one of those terrible for you guys. And yeah, you're reading from her point of view as she is just telling us her story. And I love these types of books. I know it's not for everybody. I do love reading about women that fall in love with, as I say, red flags, walking red flags, however you want to call it. I think if you like those books, this is translated fiction from, I'm not sure, it's Nordic fiction, but yeah, very good, highly recommend it. Then we have one that I didn't like too much. This is Whoever You Are, Honey. This is a sci-fi literary thriller, I would say, in which we follow a woman that lives with this older roommate, I would say, and then about the couple that move in next door. He's like a tech bro with his beautiful wife that is clearly, you see that she's hiding something. Trigger warning, I mean, what do you call it? Spoiler alert. But this is very similar to Annie Butt. But if you liked Annie Butt like I did, I loved Annie Butt, I think you will enjoy that one more than this. This eventually goes nowhere. It's kind of boring. So yeah, I don't recommend this one. I didn't like it too much. Then we have 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. This is one that gave me FOMO. I don't read romance. Almost not at all. But this is one that I was curious about because it's very loved. And again, it had a lot of things that I don't enjoy in a book, a lot of pop culture references. This is second chance romance, I would say, about a couple that fall in love when they are 15, 16, or 8. I don't remember. But then they reconnect years after, like 15 years later. And I don't think what they had at the beginning to start off with when they were teens is even considered loved. It's something that happened very fast, that was very toxic. And I don't think that is a strong enough foundation for the love that we were supposed to care for in the present day parts. I don't know, it was just not for me, so I don't recommend it. But again, this is another one that is very loved. A lot of people love it, so you may too. Oh my god. It's a lot of books. Then we have Victorian Psycho by Virginia Feito. This is a gothic horror book that I didn't like at all. This one is just so bad. I didn't like it, and it's just very boring. And it feels like you're reading a classic, but it's not a classic, so it's not good in the sense that you're not getting anything out of it that transcends time. This is just very boring and slow and just shocking for the heck. I don't know, I just really didn't like this one. You're following a, what do you call it, a governess, I would say, and she clearly has ulterior motives with the family that she's caring for, the kid and stuff. So yeah, I didn't like this one. This is just a pretty cover, no substance. So I then read Pink Slime. This is a post-apocalyptic climate disaster type story, very short too, set in Uruguay. And we follow the story of our main character, that is a woman that lives in this coastal town that has been affected by this algae that basically is killing people. And this is a slice of life. I liked a lot of passages and quotable moments that this had, but ultimately, again, I didn't enjoy this one, and I don't recommend it. I think it's just very being in her mind. She's like, you're reading from her mind and her point of view, and she's just so over everything and so Debbie Downer, which I get it, but it's just something that in this case, this specific story didn't work for me, so I don't recommend that one. Then we have The Unworthy by Agustina Basterica. This is another horror post-climate disaster book, also Latin American. This is an Argentinian author. If you love Tender is the Flesh, this is completely different, but I love this one just as much. I really liked it. You're following, your main character is this young woman that is basically doesn't have too much recollection of her past, and she is inside this messed up convent that is pretty much a cult, and a lot of abuse, a lot of dark-ish happening. Look up the trigger warnings, but if you are into that like I am, you'll really enjoy this one. Then we have my second 5-star of the month, that is Jane Eyre. This is a classic. I don't have much to say about it besides read it if you haven't, reread it if you have. It's beautiful. It's a girl that, it reminded me a lot of Anne of Green Gables, but kind of like the gothic, not version, but the same type of story that I love Anne of Green Gables, so I really love Jane Eyre. I then watched the adaptation. I really liked it too. I don't know, this is just about a very determined, independent, cool girl, and this is a love story maybe not the most traditional one. Mr. Rochester is kind of an a-hole, but she did love him, and it was a beautiful love story, so I'm here for it. Yeah, I don't know. Jane Eyre, highly recommend it, loved it, 5 stars. Then we have Party of Liars. This one was just so disappointing. I started liking it. This is set in a party here in Texas. They are having a Sweet 16. Somebody is, you know, falls to their end, and you don't know who it is. Lots of juicy drama, rich people drama. But ultimately, it was just something very predictable, something you have read before. And I didn't hate it, but I was very disappointed, so I don't recommend it. Then we're getting to the end. We Could Be Rats by Emily Austen. This is a book that deals with letters, multiple attempt of unaliving letters. The main character is writing in that style, and you are following her story. This is a story of sisterhood. This is a story of depression. This is a story of identity. It's beautiful. It has a lot of beautiful things about it, but it was just unpleasant to read for me, and for that reason I didn't enjoy it. But that is this one. I do want to read more by this author. Then we have my third 5 stars of the month. This is First Love by Ivan Turgenev. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. And this is another classic. This is like a novella, very short, and we follow a young man that falls in love with his slightly older neighbor, and everything that entails and everything that happens. He's telling us the story as he's, you know, years later when he's an adult. And this deals with son-father relationships too. I really love this, and I think it's very cool to see how years pass, and as humans we truly haven't changed that much. This had some beautiful quotes that I did annotate, and I highly recommend it. It's very short, so if again you're looking for a short classic, I do think you will enjoy that one. And then last we have 2 more, this one and another one. Unfortunately, I ended the month with 2 books that I didn't enjoy too much. This is Catalina. This is a story of a young woman here in the US. She's an immigrant from Ecuador. This is one of those without plot. She's just a slice of life. But what didn't work for me in this one was the writing style. This is told from a very stream of consciousness way, which normally works for me when it's a darker theme. This is just this girl telling you her story. And yeah, I liked it, but I didn't love this one, and I was hoping to love it, but that was Catalina. And then another one that I was kind of not disappointed. I kind of expected this to not work for me, unfortunately, because this is a very loved, hyped Frederick Backman novel, and I have realized he's just not the author for me, even though I loved Beartown. This the other books that I have read by him after Anxious People and A Man Called Uwe, and you know, now this one, they are just not for me. I think he does have a really good way with words when it comes to very quotable, beautiful, philosophical musings and cute little humor moments. But as a whole, it does have a lot of cringy moments too, and things that are just not funny and just cringy. I'm sorry, that's the word that comes to mind. A lot of fart talk, and the main character, she's a teenager that is extremely annoying and behaves in a way that I do get where she's coming from. And again, it's a mixed bag. It has a lot of good moments, but then it has a lot of moments that make it just not work for me. And unfortunately, I think this is my last Frederick. But yeah, you may love this. This is a book that is very loved. It may work for you too, but it didn't for me. And yeah, we have a 39-year-old main character here, and he behaves like he's 85, which I'm 36. I'm like, honey, you're young. But that's my wrap up of all the books that I read in January. You know, in the comments, if you like these types of videos, please stick around. I will hopefully do them every month now. But yes, let me know what you read in the comments and what you're planning to read in February. See you on the next one, and thank you so much for watching.